Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Welcome along to another episode of the Non-League Nosh, the podcast all about non-league. I'm joined once again by Adam. How are you, mate?
Hello, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
It's been a week or so since we last got together.
Yes,
things have happened.
It has. There's been lots of results over the weekend, lots of cup action more than anything. But we'll be getting into the results in a little while. But we've got a lot of your questions to talk through as well, and we've got a little bit of reaction from what we talked about last week. I got a lot of people talking about the podcast on Saturday, especially because I went to an SIL game.
Yes,
which they were talking mainly about the fact that why certain teams struggle to get into higher divisions. So it's good to know that we are reaching, an audience around this level.
Yeah, I think it's important that people are responding to it because it gives us. We're not just here to answer like the odd question. It'd be good to interact between. So
yeah,
like anything else that you've got to say, we'll bring it back.
Yeah, 100%. So we've got quite a few things to kind of go through tonight. But one thing I do just want to start on is we had a comment back from the SIL topic. Quite not surprisingly, a lot of my channel is to do with the SIL. But we've had James Scott replying saying, "Thanks for the mention, great show." Well, thanks, mate. If Holston can get support from the council, although too late, I'm sure some SIL teams could if the councils are willing and Suffolk FA supports it.
Councils willing.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to slate councils on your channel?
You can do, because quite frankly, especially around here, Stowmarket,
councils are not very supportive in my knowledge of, like, it's all right them having programmes for people to get out and do more, but they'd rather put some like rubber tyres sunk into the ground down your local green space than they would support a football improvement programme. Because they're all behind the everyone active kind of plan. Forget
football pitches, sort of doctor surgeries, schools, anything like that. If you can build a house or a flat on any piece of land, then the councils are going to be your best friend. But
there won't be anyone to live in them though soon. Brexit means Brexit.
Oh, for God's sake, we're not getting into Brexit. We're not talking about that in this podcast. But,
I'm going to try and bring it in every time. I've done quite well so far.
What are your opinions on Brexit? Let us know in the comment section.
Will it affect football?
Well, yeah, obviously it's going to affect football. We might have a topic around that. If you guys are interested in that, let us know. But
I think we need to do some flipping research.
Who, me or you?
I haven't got a flipping clue what it's going to do to football.
Right, okay. I have an idea, but we'll talk about that in a later show. So, yeah, as always, though, whenever we ask the question, what do you guys want us to talk about? Every single week we tend to get quite a few replies back from this. So thank you very much for you guys for leaving your comments, because we really do appreciate it. Because me and you can just sit here rambling about anything that kind of comes our way, but
stopping the camera is the hardest thing for us to do.
Yeah, to be honest.
Quite literally, time flies.
Exactly. So the first one we got talking about is from Lewis Clements. Now we both know we both know Lewis quite well. Talking about ticket prices across steps/divisions and opinions on it. Now I think this mainly centred from the fact that he went to a game on the weekend that charged, was it 10 or was it 11?
Mildenhall charged £9 to get in, which is that's a new record for what I've seen.
Especially at Furlough None level.
The minimum that teams in Furlough None are allowed to charge is £4.
Oh, okay.
Been doing some research.
Right,
without even knowing what that question was. So
really?
I've just been doing some reading over the weekend. So Furlough None teams have to charge a minimum of £4 to get in. In every single season, they have free advantages to do a charge what you like or entrance for free to people. You have to seek permission from the FA to do it. There is no mention of an upper cap. Should there be one, they'll never ever be able to enforce it, in my opinion, an upper ticket limit, because from what I know of teams, they will charge accordingly to things that the club have purchased, like Sky subscriptions for the clubhouse, and things like that. So I know the local club Stowe, they had BT Sport and then they bought Sky, or the other way around, and it meant that to run it all and get things going, it meant that they had to put the ticket prices up by another £1.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought anything like that would have had an effect, to be honest. I would have thought it was
general
just
club outgoings that they're covering. Those ticket prices are covering the base running of the ground. Now, what Newmarket have Sorry, not Newmarket, because theirs are quite reasonable. I think they charge £7.
Right.
What Mildenhall are covering with that £9, maybe their ground rent may be higher.
Okay.
I'd think it's a justified cost.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, they've got some big players there.
Oh, okay. Right.
I don't know. It may be wages.
Right.
You're allowed to pay wages at step 5. It's a well-known thing.
Yeah.
People don't do things for free. There are costs to cover, which we will come on to later, that you probably wouldn't believe.
Right.
In terms of how much they are.
Okay.
And
I'll be interested to know what you're referring to when you're talking about that.
When you start thinking about how much a ref costs, how much it costs for some of the expendable items. How many times do you go to a non-league game and a football goes missing? I mean, when I went to Dis last, I think their entire gate revenue went on new footballs.
That's not saying anything about the standard of play.
It's just it was impossible. If a ball went high, it was lost.
Right.
So there are things that they have to pay for, and money doesn't come from nowhere. They have to pay registration fees and stuff like that to the league.
Yeah, I suppose you don't really think about it.
As a fan, you're covering it. But should one team in the league charge £9 and another charge £6? It's a £3 difference. It doesn't sound like much, but at that level.
So are we basically saying then that we would like to have some sort of rule in place where the league sets the price across the whole division?
Yeah.
So it says, right, Furlough None, North and South, it's £6.
£6, yeah.
Furlough Prem, 7, 8 push.
I went to
upper division, it's then 9 or whatever the case may be. But then again, you've then got to get the kind of leagues as you're going through them to talk to each other to agree on.
I've been to a step 3 game this year. I don't know how much Needham charge actually. I've been to
I think it's 11.
Yeah, see,
It might be 11.
I paid 10 to get into a newly promoted team into step 3. They were step 4 last season.
Right.
Step 3 this season, they were charging 10. And
how did that make you feel? Being charged that
I
price?
showed my disabled person's rail card and paid a £5.
Right. Okay.
Because I thought it was too much.
Right. Okay. So that's a
bit of an admission there.
Yeah.
If I do think I'm getting charged too much for what I'm going to, I will take the option to pay a concessions rate.
But normally
I pay full price, and not if I feel like
it's more of a protest.
I know that's quite contentious because people watching are going to think that you should pay to get in or whatever. But it's I do qualify as a concession, but I choose when to use it.
Right.
And if I'm turning up somewhere that is not the best of facilities and stuff, or I know that it's not great, and the actual general experience of that ground from past experiences going there is not good. I'm not gonna pay the full rate. I'll pay what I am entitled to pay to get in.
Right.
So it's a bit of an odd one. Whereas, if I was going back somewhere, I don't know, where haven't I been for a while? Ipswich Wanderers. I'd pay full ticket price to get in there every day of the week.
Yeah.
You get your tea in a proper mug.
Is that what you're judging it on?
No, you've got some really good little stands around. It's a ground of character. Everyone's really welcoming. Behind the bar, they really want to interact with you. It's got a really good family feel about the place. You can tell it's run by volunteers. You go other places, which I'm not going to call out because that's completely wrong, but
ask him in private.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't really want you to be there. You're just an accessory to the match day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that inner clique feeling of the home.
Oh
fans.
God, yeah. I've been to so many games like that. It's been.
I feel the away fans, take this for what it's worth. The away fans are a bigger part of the day than the home fans. The home fans will come week in, week out. You make the club what it is. The experience you give to the away fans is what gets talked about. They'll talk to their mates. Oh, apparently that's a really good day out. It's good to go there. The bar's a good price. You can go and watch the games on the TV beforehand. They'll spend more money in the bar. Good for the club.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked to me about Thetford.
Yeah,
last season, how you
guys
had a great time down there when you went there for Stow away, and now that is making me want to go there this season.
Really welcoming. Food was good prices. Like, everyone was good. It was only £6 to get in last season anyway. Like, no problems with that whatsoever. But if you don't look after the away fans and show them the good times that you have there, one, they won't come back like next season because they'll just say, I've done that ground, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Or
true.
I've done that ground, they didn't really even want us there.
Yeah, there's a few that I'm not going back to.
Yeah, or
based on the last couple of years, and again, I'm not going to name them, but
or the wait will be, I'm just going to wait until someone else has been there and said it's actually all right, and then maybe go in a few seasons' time.
Right.
As the home club, you rely on those fans to boost your attendances, so you can get into that. You know, we had one of the top 10 attendances of the week across step whatever.
Yeah.
If you can do that, you know you're motoring.
Yeah, very true. What do you guys think? Do you think the league should be setting a price structure like that, or do you think it's solely down to the club on an individual basis? Because, you know, you will sometimes see that clubs who are performing quite well during the season will suddenly up their ticket prices halfway through because they know that people are going to be coming along to the big games, etc. Do you think it should be like it is in the higher leagues, where it is all depending on who you play?
Yeah,
rather than, you know, into certain categories. And then are you... It's interesting because if you start going down the category route, that could be shown as quite a sign of disrespect to some football clubs. If you go, do you know what, X team come along today, we'll only charge a £5 this week, but oh my god, a big team's coming today, we're going to charge another £3 on top of that.
I mean,
that's quite an interesting topic.
For me, like, one of the things that's difficult is that I'm making this big point, but Milton Hall had 350 people there at the weekend. So what they're doing, categorically, I'm not saying is 100% wrong, because there's something they're getting right. I know that people are saying there may have been about 100 Stowe fans there, but 350 is huge.
Was that price purely for that game? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't actually know. I couldn't comment on that at all.
Okay. If you do know what the prices are
normally,
Milton Hall, let us know, because that would be interesting. But yeah, what do you think? Should it be done on a tiering structure? Should the league be in control of the ticket prices? Let us know in the comment section what you think. It's a great question to kick things off.
Would you like to see more teams take advantage, or does your team take advantage of using the free opportunities per year it can get from the FA to charge what it likes or have free admission? What's your views on that? Lost revenue for the club.
Didn't even know it was a...
I've read the rule book this week.
Oh right, okay. I was going to say I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I've read the Furlough None rule book this week, and I'm going to read a few more as we go on to see what happens. It was fun. It took
Someone's got way too much time on his hands.
And
brilliant.
Like, see what you think. And in my eyes, it's not a loss of revenue because it gets people involved and interested in what the club do, and it's a future.
Takes that one hook to get you in.
Yeah, you have to speculate to accumulate, and not taking gate revenue is the same as spending in a way because you're down.
Yeah, there you go. Lewis, thank you very much for your question. If you want to get your question involved for next time, let us know, comment section below. James Scott, who originally replied to the other one, he's getting well into this. James absolutely loves it. Maybe a topic for next show, which may be controversial: paying players in the SIL and angling combinations. Is it right or is it wrong? Now, I'm going to give my opinion. Do not care.
Me neither.
Do not care one iota. I don't know. Is it right? Probably not. Is it, you know, is there anything bad against it? Well, no. I mean, it depends on what the club's ambitions are. If they're doing it because they just want to win everything, then, you know, with no real aim of going up through the divisions, then, you know, that's down to the club. If they want to pay people for not, you know, for not climbing, if you see what I mean, it's just purely going after the winning, then... that's down to the club. But if you're doing it because you want to make you want to build something for the wider community, you want to get your club into a higher division, you're doing it for a specific purpose, I've got no issue with that, to be honest. But it all depends on each individual club. Like
a strong statement, really, but I could not give a flying monkeys whether teams pay players and how much they pay players. Yeah. Do you know what? If a team wants to be successful and wants to go out and manages to attract Sergio Aguero to play in the Furlough None, then
that would be tasty.
Who cares? Like, that's their ambition. That's what they're setting out to do. If someone in the SIL has got a bit of money and can pay some players to maybe drop down a few leagues and say, do you know what, I want to take us up a bit. I want to step up. I want to win some trophies. appreciate ambition.
But is it ambition if you're not going anywhere?
But I suppose those are the clubs that want to pull on our frivolous local councils to.
I mean, I don't know.
There is a structure in place to go somewhere. It's a pyramid at the end of the day.
Yeah, but is there? If you say, for example, you want to pay somebody, I don't know what people get paid, to be honest, at that kind
Let's
of
call
level.
it £50. So we've just got a figure.
let's just say, if you want to pay X player £50 to pay or to play, you're going to then charge the rest of the squad the same sort of price to play for your club. What's the point of forking out all that money if there's, it's a bit of a weird thing to say, but there's a trophy.
I'm sure it comes with generous prize money.
Well, does it? Does it?
Well, but there is prize money attached to the leagues.
Yeah,
and stuff, but it's not.
But
is it generous prize money? It's the people that want to get behind a local football club, which are there. Like, I
mean, don't get me wrong. If I had loads of money, God, I'd be pumping it into.
I'm not saying like a Qatari enterprise is coming to sort of get behind Crane Sports, but what I am saying is that there may be a club at that level. I don't know. Say Achilles had somebody come in and says, "Do you know what? I really want to be involved in the football community. I'll back you with a bit of money just to help you out with some players, get some players in. Let's see some good quality football and see how far we can take it." We may not have the facilities to be able to go into, out of SIL and into furlough none in the near future, but let's build something for the future. What you've got to remember is one day those people will always say, "This is no longer for me."
Yeah, that's the thing. If the club have got some sort of contingency plan, then that's fair enough. But we have seen with Grunsborough recently in the SIL, a team, before I started watching it, a team that was very dominant for a long period of time because they were paying their players, allegedly. Then the money suddenly dried up and they've now got relegated as a result because that kind of thing is not happening anymore. Now, I may be horribly wrong on that. I'm just saying what I've been told about what happened there because they were one of the teams that was always up at the top.
But you've only got to look every summer, like especially at teams at SIL level, the amount of teams that fold.
Yeah.
Because there's no money there left to support it. And that's not maybe because they're like smashing loads of money on wages. Money goes elsewhere as well. It costs money to buy tracksuits, to buy kits, to get a ground together. And
if you don't own the pitch, you've got to hire it out. You haven't got to pay
fees for refs and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's more to it than just that. And I honestly, I don't care about ambition for people. If they've got it, then let them go with it. Who cares? Like, it's up to them to run it and make sure it's sustainable. And if you happen to be following a team that's like that, then enjoy that time while it's there, because it's likely that you've spent years before that point where it's just been in the mire, and in the future you may spend many more years where it's in the mire. So enjoy the good times, but follow still in the bad times as well. Yep,
that's what it's all about. It's an interesting topic, to be honest. I think a lot of people are against it. I think if you ran a general consensus, a lot of people would be, but again, it depends on what you're there for. Are you there to play with your mates? Are you there to have a good time? Are you there just because you want to be part of a club and a community and feel about it? Or are you there because you want to win and you'll do anything at whatever cost it takes? Are you there because you're wanting to grow the club? There's so many different reasons for being involved in a football club, and it's not just purely about someone chucking a load of money at ex-players. And, you speak to, I'm going to use him as an example, but you talk to Rick Andrews at Stowe.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about the players. He talks about the club and how much it's grown from when he started to when he's there now. Yeah. And the feel-good factor about the club. And, it's got people in the town talking.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rick will talk about that more than he does, we've got this really good player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's interesting how it all comes together, and what's available on the pitch. And you want to be playing good football, but
of course.
I don't know. It's like, just as an example, say Old Newton, they got promoted last year. So they'd suddenly decided they're gonna like pay all of their players £30 a week or whatever to play.
Right.
They're not doing that with an ambition of reaching the Premier League in 15 seasons. They're doing it with an ambition.
Come on, Macca, show some ambition.
They're doing it with the ambition of just, let's attract a few more players in and see how far we can push on.
Yeah.
It's harmless. It's you know, it's just let's get the best for the club and the fans.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about it. Thanks, James, for your comment. Really, really do appreciate that. Ben Moore, he loves this show. He absolutely loves it. Topic for next time: Ipswich Town and their ex-players in the local game. We kind of covered that a little bit in the previous one.
Yeah.
FA Cup and VAR. Are you a fan?
Okay. FA Cup. I this year I'm going to tick the box and say I now categorically hate the competition.
Whoa. Jesus. Why?
Right. So everyone gets entered, and it's just like for non-league clubs, it's an ability to earn money. Brilliant. Are you going to win it? No. Just what's the point? It's just.
Oh, come on.
No, it's just more
come on.
games.
No.
It's more games to add to a packed schedule when. It's not for me. Like,
if I was a footballer, I would rather be involved in an FA Cup tie than a league game.
What, so you can get to the first qualifying?
Yeah,
round?
no, but,
Like,
you're playing in the FA Cup.
That you'll never see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. Just to say that you've played in an FA Cup game, that still means something to a lot of people at this level.
I can't buy it. I just think it's clutter.
No, the other cup competitions, like the League Cup for the Furlough None, that's a waste of time.
But they're winnable.
Yeah,
and that's
but it's
the thing.
a waste
so someone
of time.
can come up with a trophy.
The League Cup in the Furlough None is the equivalent of the checkered trade, whatever the hell it is called
It's
nowadays.
a coveted trophy. It's a big old piece of shiny silverware.
No, sorry. I'd much rather be involved in the FA Cup than win that. Whatever.
FA Vars is quality. FA Cup, pointless.
Interesting one. Leave us your comments about FA Cup if you're
but then you get
involved
to
in
the,
it.
mind you, I say no one could win it. You get to the later rounds and everyone puts out about their fifth strength side because no one can be bothered with cup competitions anymore. Oh, it gets to the FA Cup. Oh, we're not going to use our normal goalkeeper anymore. It's just so disrespectful.
What do you reckon? Kings Lynn?
What, for the FA Cup?
Kings Lynn for the third round?
I'm there for it if they do.
Kings Lynn, third round, drawing Man United away?
Absolute scenes at Kings. No, like...
Could happen. then tell those players that the FA Cup doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's different though, isn't it? Like,
how is it different? If a club, let's say for example, if
just
somebody
imagine
like,
the team Man United would put out.
No. Let's say for example, if somebody like Bury, Felixstowe, Sudbury, somebody like that managed to get to the first round proper of the FA Cup, would you say that's a waste of time?
Please do your research and find out the last time that a Step 4 team did that.
Well, it might not be from around this area, but
no,
there's bound to be someone around this.
Nationally, a Step 4 team, because a Step 5 probably will never have done it, but a Step 4 team got to the third round of the FA Cup.
Someone do your stats. Someone research. Do you know what? I'm going to research it. I'm going to research it.
They'd win enough money by going through that many rounds to bankroll the club for about 10 years. You get £1,000 just to go through the first round.
So, yes, FA Cup, I am on board. Adam is not. VAR, are you a fan? No. Absolutely not.
Come up with a good idea.
Get rid of VAR. It is destroying the game. Oh, he's offside by 2 millimetres. No, get in the bin.
Do you know what I hate even more now when
VAR.
you go to a non-league game?
What's that?
Someone disagrees with a decision and you always get a moron that goes, VAR! from the side every time. It's like,
I get it whenever I'm recording a game. Someone goes, ref, do you want to check what a VAR is? And it's
like the other week, we went to a Stowe game and I had people turn around and say, oh, with all the money here, you'd think you'd bought VAR by now. And I'm like, this is just so silly. Yeah, because, I mean, even if we had bought it, I'm sure it'd be implemented at Furlough Non-Prem. My idea... at lower, like VAR is a thing, we'll just have to put with it. It may get retracted, but it's a thing. My idea I've come up with is 2 linesmen on each side. So you get 2 linesmen either side.
Where are we going? Where are we?
Instead of VAR, but at lower leagues, to make decisions more manageable. Because we keep seeing things like the offside rule. I genuinely watched a game recently where it was a game of two halves because one of the linesmen was so poor. Every time a ball was put over the top, he just chucked his flag in the air. So, like, the first half, one team were terrible, and the second half, the other team were terrible because they could never break through because he just kept flagging for offside, like, constantly. So if you've got a linesman each side, then it takes both of them to raise their flag to spot the offside for the referee to agree. Whereas
get far too confusing.
Whereas if one of them flags, then the referee makes his own judgment on what he thinks. But if both flag, it's offside.
No.
It's just an idea. I came up with it today when I was walking home, and I thought
that's a terrible idea.
I thought it's 2 points of opinion. If something happens on the far side of the pitch,
no, it's not a point of opinion.
There is no longer.
A stupid idea.
There's now both sides of the pitch and near side, so everything's covered. You haven't got to worry about the referee keeping up with the game because he had too many beers and a pint last night. You've got two linesmen to cover him.
No. Anyway.
Let me know if you think that idea is better than
right, okay.
We're doing a lot of disagreeing.
So VAR, yes or no?
No, it's rubbish. Let's celebrate a goal. Oh, it didn't actually count.
One thing I am... what I don't understand about the VAR part of it, because I'm not going to talk about this too much because I don't want to, because I hate VAR. If a linesman puts his flag up for offside... I thought the whole point of VAR, and we saw it during, like, you know, what was it? I think it was the Euros or was it the World Cup? I can't remember. They allowed the play to go on, and then they reviewed it.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, you're seeing it where the flag goes up, and they're stopping it, and then they're reviewing it. Well, what's the point of reviewing something if you stop the game? There's literally no point of having a linesman, because
you may as well just do digital linesman.
Yeah.
Just imagine if, like on NFL, where they have the line that moves to mark the yardage, they could just move the.
Oh no! Don't talk to football fans about NFL.
Oh yeah,
because they don't have it. They won't have it. Heaven forbid you actually want to improve the game for the better.
Basically, in NFL, there are two lines that are digitally imposed on the pitch, and one marks the 10 yards where they're trying to get to, and the other one marks how close they get to it in a play. That's the most simplified version I can make of it.
Yeah, it's pretty simplified.
So if in football they were able to run constantly a red line for the defenders and a white line for the attackers, and the referee got a beep in his ear when the attackers were over the sides of the defenders,
that's a lot of money.
If he was getting that tone in his ear and he saw a ball played forward, bang, offside. Because he heard the tone and he saw the ball played forward.
Do you know what? That suggestion has been better than VAR.
I thought of that just here, right this second.
Well, there you go.
And Match of the Day can use that stupid line thing, and they've sometimes got some of the most inept commentators I've ever seen in my life. If Mark Lawrenson can use a system like that, honestly, anyone can.
Right, let's move away from VAR. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I hate it.
It's pants.
So, I've got two questions about the SIL, where I don't know how much I'm going to be able to answer it, and I don't know how much Adam's going to be able to answer it. Ash has put, who are you fancying in Division 3 and Division 4 this year? And then I've also got a comment as well saying, what do you think of the unpredictable Division 4 in the SIL this year with mostly new teams? Nobody knows anything about each other, meaning it could be make for some really good games. Well, I'm just going to load up the table just so I can have a bit of a look and just show Adam as well. Let's get Division 3 loaded.
Is Division 4 the one that's got some of the reserves teams that have dropped?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. So Division 4 had a lot. Well, it is basically brand new. I think there's only like 3 teams left over from last year. So you've got Berrytown Rams, Needham B team in here, Walsham Le Willows, BT Crane Sports, Stowmarket A, Bilderson Reserves, Leiston Reserves. So. I mean, I don't know from Division 4, if I'm being brutally honest. I think I'm going to need to see about 5 games played to kind of know who's at
I think it could take even longer than that with some of them teams and how nearly formed they are.
Well, I mean,
this is the kind of level where players will float in and out of the teams every week.
I mean, like Needham Market B is a brand new team.
Yeah.
Stowe A is a brand new team. I think Leiston A is a brand new team. Bilderston Reserves. Bilderston didn't have a reserve team last year, so that's a brand new team.
Well, Stowe A have already said that their team is meant to be its gateway for under-18s to get men's football on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's competitive.
It's really good, but that means that they could be... That's going to be the most up and down season because they're going to be mixing players in and out of the squad as and when available. So consistency could be difficult, especially if other teams are doing that, using the reserves, like Crane are using their reserves or whatever in there.
It could make for a very interesting league. How it would pan out,
it's names out of a hat, isn't it, at this point?
Oh God, yeah, definitely. A Division 3. Well, I think Division 3 is kind of, I don't know. Again, it's very, very hard to really tell. I mean, Hope Church are one of those teams that were in here last year, so they should know what the division is about. Obviously, they're yet to kind of kick off their campaign. Melton United is a brand new team in there. Again, half of these teams are completely brand new.
Ipswich Valley Rangers are in there as well.
Yep, they are. Yeah. I'm fancying Witnesham Wasps. They seem. I mean, I'm loving what they're doing on social media at the moment as well. They really are up in their game, which is fantastic to see. They've had a really good start to the season, won 7-2 away at Exiles, which is good. Again, I don't know. To be honest, I would need to go and watch a couple of games at that level to really judge it, if I'm being brutally honest. But what do you think? What do you make of it?
Look at them scores that have happened last week. Some goals got banged
4-2,
in that league.
7-2, 3-1, 2-0, 5-2. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you want to know anything about Division 3, you're going to get goals.
Yeah, 100%.
Go and watch a game for goals.
Yeah, there you go. So, short answer, don't know. Is the honest answer from Division 3 and Division 4
The informative answers will come back to you in a few weeks and have a look again.
Yes, I agree on that.
We'll have a look at a few fixtures that have rolled over.
Yeah. So, don't know. So that is all the questions done. So thank you very much for anyone who has left a comment. That really, really does. It's really, really much appreciated.
Some good stuff talking about there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, ticket price is always a controversial topic at any level of football.
And I bet you will end up discussing it again.
Yeah.
In a few weeks' time, probably.
Because I always remember
all the cup competitions and that coming up.
I always remember, and this was a couple of years back now. I remember going to watch Hoffenheim versus Leverkusen for less money than the following weekend I went to watch Colchester. I paid something like €19 for a ticket to go watch Hoffenheim Leverkusen, and I paid 22 quid to go and watch Colchester.
Paid 20 quid to go and watch Colchester. I bet there's only about 25 fans in there.
27, but
that's an empty old stadium these days.
So typical prices is always a controversial thing, but let us know. As I said, if you've got any other questions for next week or whenever we do, it will be next week, won't it?
Probably. I've got to go away with work, so we'll see.
We'll let us know, and we'll reply to every single one. So we're now going to move on to some fixtures within the leagues that we've been talking about. Now, a lot of teams had cup competitions going on, so there wasn't any league action. If we start off with the highest divisions and make our way kind of down on there, Kings Lynn got a 2-2 draw away at Spennymoor Town, who are near the relegation zones.
Yeah, that's a poor result.
Well, is it? It's away from home. It's a division that's still kind of
new to them,
leveling itself out. They are brand new to the league. Is it really that bad of a point?
Well, mind you, Spennymoor Town have actually got one of the better goal differences in the bottom half of the table.
I mean, you look at the tables where
look all right.
That's actually not that bad of a point. They have played less games than everyone else around them, and only a couple of wings and a back in top half of the top half of the table.
Yeah, we're still at that stupid stage of the season where you're bottom of the league. Oh, I won one game. I'm third from top. Well, third. What an idiot.
So I don't think that's a bad point, to be honest. And it keeps them top, which is great. We love to see that. So well done to Kings Lynn.
Yeah, well done.
So we had Needham Market didn't play this weekend. They were in cup action, which they drew against DeeJam, and the replay's being played tonight. So we'll find out who won that game.
Big result for DeeJam, that.
And I think the winners go on to play Lowestoft in the next round of the cup.
DeeJam Lowestoft.
I think so. I think I am right. Yeah, I think I am. I did see that. I swear I saw that. So, good luck to both Needham and DeeJam. Obviously, we don't know. Maybe you can check what the score is. I don't know.
Needham's still sitting mid-table, though.
Yeah, but nobody played in that division. Again, nobody played in Bury, Sudbury's, Cambridge City, all that kind of stuff like that.
All stays as was.
All stays as that was. Furlough none time. Right, let's have a look at some of the results. So we had God Manchester winning 2-0, so they keep up the pressure on some of the teams at the top.
They've had a tricky start to this season as well, God Manchester. They've had some mixed results, I think, haven't they?
So they've won 4 and lost 2 out of their 6 games. Ely collecting a good point at home against Stanway Rovers, a 0-0 draw.
That is an insane result for Ely.
That's a great result considering how well Stanway have started.
Yeah, but Ely have had some good wins as well already. Like, let's not forget. I think they had a couple of early wins and that. Ely are going to be a team that do okay this season.
Yeah. So we've got Galston and Hadley collecting a point each. That's Galston's first point of the season. So it's good for them guys to get off the mark. You don't want to be sitting on 0 for too long. Haverhill beat Clacton 1-0. Long Melford 3-0 against Swaffham Town. That's a good win. That's a very good win.
I don't think Swaffham will be too happy though.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, Melford can be proud of that one.
Yeah. Stowe Mildenhall, kind of a big game from the weekend, 0-0.
It's one of those ones that was all hyped up.
Did you go?
No, I didn't go. No. I was at a 3-year-old's birthday party, you know.
Oh wow.
Living life to the full. Couldn't eat cake because I'm on a diet.
Lovely.
Lovely. Just stood watching cricket on the phone.
It's not a bad way to live. So while Stowe were drawing, Norwich United managed to pick up another win, doing superbly well. This time against Walsham Le Willows. Now only a
struggling
point.
a bit this season. Are they? It's a bit to be concerned about with Walsham.
Well, I mean, they have only played 4 games in comparison to a lot of teams around them playing 7 or 8. But yes, only on 3 points after 4 games. That is a bit.
I really like Walsham as well.
I'd like
play
to
a lot
see
of younger players and those.
I'd like to see them doing a lot better than that. We then had a cup result where Witton unfortunately lost and are out of the FA Cup, which is unfortunate, but obviously did quite well to get to that round as it was. Kirkley and Patefield won 2-1 away against Thetford.
2 wins in a row for them.
And another poor result for Thetford.
I'm getting worried about Thetford.
Yeah, seems to be
not
stuck.
Going to lie. Yeah, they are. They're in a bit of a rut.
They are.
If we look at their results, they've actually played quite a lot of games now.
But it seems to be quite close score lines. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if they're getting thrashed. It's that they're just not quite getting there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have converted a couple of those into draws, and things would be looking a lot better. But
I don't know. For me, it doesn't feel like they're fulfilling the potential I felt like they had at the start of the season. Is all I'm saying. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I like Thetford. In terms of not so much the town, but the actual the team. There's not too much to do in Thetford, but there's actually lots about the team that's quite good.
Yeah.
And I don't like to see that.
No, not
if I'm honest.
Not great.
The actual table looks horrible. It's 1 win and 8 losses, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great.
What's their goal difference?
-9. So
that tells a tale. They've played 9 games, but they're only on -9 goal difference.
Yeah.
With 8 losses.
So again,
there's no margin in all the games.
No, there really isn't.
So they're not getting much wrong. It's just not clicking.
Yeah. And then the final game, Woodbridge 1, Wroxham 3. Another impressive win for Wroxham. Obviously, East Anglian Daily Times reported that Grant Holt against Carlos Edwards.
They hyped it up. You could tell Ipswich weren't playing. It's like, we'll find an Ipswich Norwich grudge locally. It's fantastic timing for the local papers, and they were all over it. And
Norwich won again. So,
I mean, just going back on this, Wroxham haven't played too many games, but are looking good.
Yeah, so they played 5, won 4, and drawn 1.
Okay, so
great start, to be honest.
That's looking quite sharp for them.
Which makes the league even more interesting.
This league has opened right up early on.
Yeah, it really has, which is great because I want as many teams. As much as I want Stowmarket to do well, I want as many teams competing for it as humanly possible.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have teams with high point collection. The reason why that's good is because the second team can go up on a points per game basis, average nationally.
Can they?
Yeah. So I want to see teams in this league scoring high points, and early indications that we're going to get it. I'm slightly worried about Woodbridge. They started off so strong. They smashed a couple of teams, and now they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's back-to-back defeats. They'll bounce back, no doubt about it, because they are such a good team. But you just want to stop that run now.
Yeah, you know what I mean, I don't know. I would have actually expected them to overcome Wroxham, if I'm honest, despite their early start, which does even the league up a bit. But when they lost 5-2 to Kirkley the week before, which we have already discussed, so I'm not going to dwell on it.
That was a big result.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, that was a big result.
In my eyes, and it's only my personal opinion, they've had 2 poor results on the bounce. Despite Wroxham's good start, I would have expected, judging from what I saw last season of Woodbridge, and knowing how they started the season, I would have expected them to probably overcome Wroxham, despite the threat of Grant Holt.
I don't know. Wroxham looked to be a pretty solid team this year. It's interesting, but as I said, it makes for a far more competitive division, which is great. We're moving down into the first division, North. Don't talk about the South. North, the big game of the weekend. Ipswich Wanderers and Downham finished 0-0.
Of course it did. They all do, don't they? Of course
it does. It's just like building up a massive like Man United versus Arsenal game on Sky Sports. Oh, big game, clash of the Titans, and then finishes 0-0 because Jose Mourinho's parked the bus. I'm not saying either manager did. I don't know.
I don't want to be too harsh because it's early doors, but Ipswich Wanderers have dropped. I think that might be their 3rd draw.
Yeah, all right.
No, like I'm just saying, there's a couple of things.
No, just because I backed Ipswich.
No.
And you're backing Dis. I know. I can see where this is going instantly because the next game I'm going to talk about is the fact that Dis won 2-1 on the weekend. I know exactly where he's going.
I just hope they don't rue some early draws that could be important, especially over Downham.
Come on, Wanderers. Yeah, I said Dis won on the weekend. We had March losing in the cup against Grays. Lakenheath lost 2-0 to Fakenham. That's a bit of a shock result considering where they both are in the table. Lakenheath were getting off to a good start, and won 4 out of 4. So that's a bit of a shocker. Leiston Reserves beating Framlingham. That's a big shock.
Framlingham on.
We
already stressed how concerned we were last week with Framlingham, and
not good.
We'll cross our fingers again for next week.
Yeah, let's hope so.
It's not getting better.
Mulbarton beating Haverhill 3-0. So Mulbarton move up to 2nd in the table. Superb.
Needham Resi's keeping up the pressure as well, beating Felix Stowe Reserves. That's a big little derby, really, at that level.
Love that.
Massive scorer there was CBS. I actually followed that game on Twitter.
Did you?
There's just goals galore.
So Norwich CBS 3, Debenham 4. So Debenham move up to 7th as a result of that. Norwich CBS, that's 3 defeats out of 4 now. They're kind of lingering more towards the bottom. Again, they play far less games than everybody else, but not a great start. And I like Norwich.
Yeah.
CBS, they've treated us well when we've been there, so hopefully they can turn that around.
However, friends of the channel, Sheringham.
Yes. 6-1.
6-1 Sheringham. Now, smashed that out of the park.
Now, it was against bottom of the table, but, you can only play what's in front of you, and to get 6 goals is fantastic.
I'm not going to lie though, Wisbreach, like a minus 20 goal difference after 5 games does not look clever.
Worrying. That's really worrying.
That's problematic.
Went through quite a lot of changes last year. I think they had 2 management changes during the course of the season. Seems to have kind of snowballed into this one as well. Not been a great start. 5 defeats out of 5.
They've been smashed a couple of times to get to that goal difference as well, because they only lost 2-0 I think the week before.
Yeah, but some interesting games in there. But again, kind of at this point of the season when some teams have played 8 and some teams have played 4, we need it to kind of even itself out to see where everyone is truly at. We're going to drop down into the SIL, my bread and butter.
It's all up to you now, James.
Right, so we had some results come in over the weekend. So we had Achilles drawing 4-4 with Bourneville United.
Just 4-4, wow.
Which that's a big result. I mean, I know, a lot of people would have been expecting Achilles to win that one, but Bourneville, decent team on their day. They can cause a bit of an upset, and I would say that is a bit of an upset. Capel Plough beating Leiston St Margaret's. Good result for those guys over there. Cranes Sports winning 3-0. Cranes they're just an absolute machine, and they're going from strength to strength. Obviously won the title last year and just continuing that in great form. And want to give them a shout out as well because their YouTube channel for their match day highlights is doing really well at the moment, which is great to see. We want more non-league coverage, and what you guys are doing is fantastic. So keep that up.
The quicker every team can get that, and put you out of a job, so we don't have to hear good morning, good afternoon, good evening, the better.
Cheers, mate.
Banner.
Yeah, great banner. And then Old Newton beating East Berghoff 4-1 away from home. Great result for them. Old Newton doing quite well so far.
Good fast start for them.
Yeah, which is what they needed, to be honest. And it's a good.
Macca's going to be pretty chuffed with that.
Yeah, he will be. Big result, shock this weekend. Henley won. Bilderson recently promoted too. Henley, one of the title favourites, you would have to say.
They're a good team as well.
Yeah, but you know, Henley openly admitted on Twitter it wasn't their best game. They were passing was all over the place. They've openly admitted it. Said that Bilderson deserved their win, and Bilderson on their day are a hell of a team. They are really, really strong. They make life difficult for you, and they can pass it around and play good football as well. So on their day, I mean, I know it's a bit of a shock, but it's not that much of a shock when you think about it. All it takes is for a couple of players not to be on their game, and Bilderson will punish you.
It's good to see their newly promoted team causing some waves.
Both of them, Old Newton and Bilderson, both taken to this division like a duck to water.
I'm backing Old Newton just because of how local they are, like to where I live.
Yeah, fantastic
I've got
club.
Links to people there as well.
Yeah,
so.
Fantastic club. Then there was a cup game which Hawley lost, and then we had Trimley. Red Devils losing 2-1 to Copplestonians. Copplestonians are one of those teams that on their day are probably one of the best teams in the division, but they lack consistency last year. However, they won 3 out of 3. Great start to the season for them. And then Westerfield lost 3-1 to Bramford. Now,
they'll be pleased with that.
I am worried for Westerfield. I think I really hope they can turn it around, because I like them as a football club. They've treated me and myself and my wife fantastically when we went over there, but against one of the teams you would consider to be right down there in Bramford as well, that's a bad loss on that one.
That's the thing. Bramford will be chuffed with that.
100%.
To be honest,
100%. First win of the season for them. They're now off the mark, up to 4 points. But again, a lot of teams all over the place at the moment.
Early doors still. See how it goes.
Exactly. Division 1. Some good games in Division 1 this weekend. I was at one of them, which was... Where is it, the game on this? So if we start from the top. So Bacton won 4-1 against Coddenham. That was one of the games I wanted to go to. Could have seen 5 goals. I saw 6 instead. Halesworth beating
your
Barham
audience gave you the right one to go to.
Yes, he did. Although, you know, if I'd have seen Bacton win 4-1, I wouldn't have complained too much about that particular result. But the 6-0 scoreline does not reflect the game in the slightest. Barham were well in now for 25 minutes and then just collapsed. Yeah. 6 goals before half time and the game was done. So good wins for Bacton and for Halesworth. Halesworth continuing 100% record, as do Ransom Sports. 2-0 win against Southwold, which is a great result.
Wasn't it Southwold that haven't lost at home for like 957 days or something?
Hell of a stat.
And
Ransoms
beat them 2-0.
Yeah.
It's not only losing, they kept a clean sheet against them.
Yeah.
So
Ransoms and Halesworth are going to be right up there.
So we'll call that first home loss in 3 years, because I can't do the fine maths, but
yeah,
amazing.
That's fantastic stuff. Kesgrave beating Mendlesham 3-0 away from home. Another tough result for Mendlesham there. Sporting beating Stanton. Sporting are a great team. They got their first win of the season, and in style. That's a hell of a result for those guys. And in the final game, Wickham Market 5, Grunsborough 3. Quality and goals, action galore in the SIL.
How many goals are in the SIL? It's mental.
It's a brilliant division. It really, really is. The SIL is a fantastic...
The strikers must be loving their football at the moment in the SIL.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You go to that kind of level, and it's not that the defending is bad. It's just the attacking side of the games are really good at that level. People don't expect it.
Yeah,
but it is really, really good.
I noticed one of the passes on the game you covered was an absolute worldie to set up that left to right
the
switch.
Ping right across
It's attractive football. It may be far down the tier, but you don't have to watch. You don't have to pay 35 quid for a football ticket to go and watch football that's fun.
No, you absolutely don't.
And that video absolutely typified that for me.
Yep. Which, SIL, It's free as well.
Good coverage.
Another selling point for the SIL.
Oh yeah, no ticket price worries.
Yeah, there you go. If you don't want to worry about ticket prices, just come down to the SIL.
Go watch the SIL. All the SIL boys will absolutely love that as well. They love a crowd at that level.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually talking to some of the guys from Halesworth before the game, and they were telling me that some of their pre-season games, they were attracting over 100 fans.
That's mental.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. Halesworth as a club is looking to grow. Is looking to move on. They've got higher ambitions than just the SIL, which is fantastic because we need a club from the SIL. We were talking about it last week, coming up and doing something.
I think it's an apt shout out, and most of you will know about it. But Kitchener's are a local Ipswich Sunday League team, and they have built a community out of all of their mates, and they get tons of people just to go and watch them play Sunday League football. An incredible amount of people watch them play Sunday League football.
And it's all powered through social media.
Yeah, YouTube. They go through. They're always on Twitter and that. I think the Twitter handles Brotherhood. There's a couple of lads that run it, and massive shout out to them. I mean, they've used some of your footage in something they've done before,
which has been much appreciated.
But honestly, what they do at Sunday League football level by generating the interest and stuff, that can be replicated at any brands,
100%.
Especially across SIL.
It's about what you do as a football club and how you go about promoting it, because some people do just want to kind of keep it within house and are quite happy with that, and that's fair enough. If that's you do you, but to gain that kind of traction from it is what we want to see. We want to see more clubs being promoted. We want to see clubs being talked about on a national level, that kind of stuff.
I want to see more people going absolutely mad when goals go in.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Hear a good old roar when a goal goes in.
That's what you want to see. So yeah, some great results over the weekend. We'll be back next time reviewing some of the other games and other results up and down the country, and obviously we're going to see some of our other teams like Bury and Sudbury, etc., get back into league action next weekend, which is going to be great. Are you heading to a game this weekend, Adam? Do you know?
I will be at the second half of Stowmarket versus Woodbridge. Yeah. Yep. And goodness knows what's going to happen.
No. Woodbridge are going to be wanting to bounce back after the last two games.
Stowe got a couple of injuries as well.
Yeah.
Big ones.
And Stowe know what Woodbridge are capable of. They're not going to take this game lightly, despite the fact they've lost the last two games. That'll be a hell of a game to go to be honest. I've got 2 or 3 games in mind at the moment. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to, but yeah, I'll let you know on social medias and whatnot. But yeah, it's
I'm not even going to tease it for the podcast. Massive.
No teasers. They'll find out on Thursday.
He doesn't treat you well enough.
No, I'm horrible to you. God,
there's not enough content there.
Nasty person. But yeah.
Speaking of content.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know what we're going to do. So what's your idea for this week, so people can catch the podcast in bits and pieces if they want to, or relive some bits?
Yes. So
talk about that.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing is that I know not everyone has 50 minutes to an hour to spare in one chunk to listen to the podcast, and some people can get 30 minutes into it, think, oh, I'll go back and listen to that, and then never get around to it. Life takes over. It's one of those things. It happens all the time. I've got about 5 podcasts at the moment that I'm currently in my holding that I'm waiting to listen to. So I get, things can get a little bit hectic. So what we're going to be doing is breaking the podcast up into different sections. So when a particular topic that we're talking about, we're going to be doing what I like to call bite-sized nosh. Pretty clever idea. So yeah, bite-sized nosh, which is going to be just little segments of what we've been talking about during the podcast, uploaded after a day after the podcast has been out in little chunks, so that if you just want to listen to 10 minutes of me and Adam, or however long they happen to be, then those will be available after the podcast, 24 hours after that has been released. Just gives you guys another opportunity to either, as I said, listen to the smaller chunks, or
listen again.
Or if you want to listen again, then
the
videos will be out.
Especially if there's something that you like as a point of, and you just want to show someone at your local club or a mate. Yeah. What do you think of this point? Whatever, and then they can quickly tag a comment on it. Yeah. And it might get us a little bit more stuff to talk about. So I think it's a good way of doing it and to share stuff. On my side, what I've had a look into is podcast hosting. So that for those of you that can't watch the podcast, because unless you've got YouTube Premium, you can't black your screen and put it in your pocket.
Yeah, and I mean, my brother talks about this all the time because he says, I want to watch your stuff, but I don't want to watch your stuff. I want to listen to you, but I don't like doing it through YouTube.
So I'm going to be looking, hopefully this evening, we should be able to open up, look at putting it on all popular podcasting platforms, as well as Spotify, and I will be looking into Apple Music. But I know Spotify and podcast platforms are viable, so we will confirm what those are when we promote it, because we're going to do that after this tonight.
Okay, there you go. I've been told. So that is
someone's got to crack the whip, James.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'm not all. You know, I can't always do it. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening over the next couple of days, etc. So yeah, the podcast is going to be out in its entirety. We're going to be breaking up into certain sections, and then hopefully we're going to start over the next couple of weeks introducing other ways that you can listen to the podcast as well as YouTube.
Anything that you want that you know about, though, that's a good idea for doing this stuff. I know about technology and stuff, but I'm very new to podcasting. So if you know of a good way of getting it out there, throw it to me and I'll try and figure it out, because I just want more people to be able to listen in ways that are better for them. Yeah,
because I have to admit, I only listen to podcasts on YouTube. Yeah. That's the only source that I personally know. So we'll do some research and we'll let you guys know.
I need to teach you about Podcast Addict. It's a very good app.
There you
Get
go.
it. Podcast Addict. You can. We're not even sponsored.
No, if you do want to sponsor us, though, that would be great. Yeah. That would be very nice. So yeah, thank you very much. If you've enjoyed the podcast, leave it a like. But more importantly, leave us a comment for next time about the topics you want us to talk about. Would be very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much, Adam.
No, thanks. I've really, really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
They're really good topics to get into. And we've kept it under an hour.
And we've argued.
Yeah.
Which has been great.
You're still wrong, though, about everything you said.
No,
and I'm right about what I said about FA Cups.
Adios.
Bye.